Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Tim. In today's video, I'm going to bring you why people get sick often, especially foreigners, when they visit the Philippines. I'll turn the camera around, we'll take a walk, and we'll talk about what you can do to decrease your chances of getting sick in the Philippines. And it is a common thing that happens to a lot of foreigners. They come to the Philippines and they get sick for one reason or another, and it's not what you think. I'm one of those people. I've been here for 5 months and I've had 3 colds / sinus infections. I'm not sure what they are. I have not yet gone to a doctor to check it out. But it seems like every month, every other month, I come down with something. Usually it starts as a cold and then it just lingers, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3, maybe even 4 weeks for it to stop. So I wanted to bring you what I found on the internet as some of the things that could be causing some foreigners. And I do talk to other foreigners, and a lot of those foreigners get sick as well. And it's not due to what they're drinking or eating. It's essentially a cold or a flu. And what AI says is that you may get sick due to factors like high stress, lack of sleep, poor nutrition, and inadequate hygiene, which weaken your immune system and make you more susceptible to illness. Underlying genetic factors, chronic illnesses and health conditions, lifestyle choices, and alcohol use can contribute. But if you're concerned about frequent illnesses, especially if they are severe, it's best to consult a doctor. So let's talk about that. And one of the things they mentioned was you might be more susceptible to getting sick, especially after a long flight. If you're coming from America like I did, my flight was 28 hours. Lots of layovers, lots of stress, moving in and out of airports. So I can understand getting sick shortly after you land, but what I don't understand is getting sick 4 months after I arrived. So they say lack of sleep could cause it. And maybe that's it. Sometimes I'm not sleeping well, particularly because of all the earthquake activity recently. So one of the things that you should all do is try to find a way to get enough sleep. And sometimes that's hard to do here in the Philippines. Poor diet, maybe that's causing it. I have been on pretty much a vegan diet since I've been here. I don't eat much meat. I haven't really eaten much meat in America, but here I eat very little meat. I do eat rice and vegetables. I occasionally will go to McDonald's over there, but I think that could be contributing to some of my illnesses. Is maybe the diet isn't as good as it used to be when it was in America. I do occasionally have fried rice and vegetables, but I probably don't have enough of that. Dehydration is on the list. Dehydration can cause and accelerate your sickness and illnesses. I think maybe I'm guilty of that as well. I just don't think I'm drinking enough water. I walk around like today in the Philippines. It's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's humid, it's hot, it's sunny. And a lot of times I'm not drinking enough water. So that could be causing it as well. Let's go to the next page. Underlying health conditions. That could be causing it. Underlying health conditions. As you get older, you get sick more often. Genetics. Maybe genetics could be causing it. Who knows? What else could be causing it? Poor hand hygiene. I think let's talk about poor hand hygiene. In America, I have my own house. I didn't go into very many public places. And I think the poor hand hygiene might be causing at least my illnesses. Right now, I live in a condo building. There are hundreds of other tenants and people that go in and out of these condo buildings every day. You're opening the entry door to get into the condo. You're opening the entry door to get out of the condo. I'm talking the lobby area. And there are hundreds of people touching those door handles. I know in a lot of condo buildings they have people, the concierge will open the doors for you, but a lot of times they're not there to open the door and you open the door yourself. And then you're opening other doors, like I go to the gym almost every day, so I'm opening the door at the gym to get into the gym, and there's hundreds of people touching that as well every day. So I think part of the point of the video is when you're living in a condo association or a township like this, I think you have to be more mindful to practice a good hygiene. And they do sell hand wash products, and right there's Robinson Grocery Store. I'm used to carrying hand sanitizer in America. They do have hand sanitizer here, but it's usually sold in big bottles. It doesn't have a nice sweet fragrance. And right now at Robinson, you can get a buy one, get one of hand sanitizer. They do sell hand sanitizer in smaller bottles here, but they're harder to find. I think if I go to the LG Garden and I look hard enough, I could find hand sanitizer in small handheld bottles that you can put in your pocket. But they are actually a little bit harder to come by here in the Philippines. As I walk by the Andale and the Bar Canto here on Newtown Boulevard. So I think a lot of times people are getting illnesses in the Philippines because they're living in communities like this, and the hygiene just isn't the same as it was when they lived in America. Another factor they say people are getting more ill more often is alcohol consumption. I don't drink much alcohol, maybe 1 or 2 drinks a month at most. And I think there's others that drink a lot more than I do. And maybe that's one of the reasons people are getting ill more often. So the advice there is to drink in moderation. It's always good to drink in moderation. But alcohol prices are actually relatively inexpensive in the Philippines, and people take advantage of that, and sometimes they drink too much. And I talked about the weakened immune system, underlying health conditions. What can I do? I'm reading the article. What can I do? Practice good hygiene. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. And that's something I don't do often enough since I've been in the Philippines, especially because I'm going in and out of these stores. Robinson, I go in there almost once a day, touching the door handles, although a lot of times they do open them for you. There's still times you're touching those. So wash your hands often. I also stress getting some hand sanitizer, and I think I need to do that more often. I need to look harder for a pocket-sized version of some hand sanitizer. Another thing you can do is manage stress to reduce and minimize your sickness. Manage stress. Although it's not that stressful here, there are certain things that cause stress, like lack of sleep and multiple aftershocks and multiple earthquakes. So those factor into the equation. So if there's a way you can manage your stress, Implement stress reduction techniques like exercise, mindfulness, and adequate rest to support your immune system. Adequate rest is something that I stress to everyone because some people get excited to be in the Philippines and they stay awake too much. Prioritize your sleep. Aim for 7 or 8 hours of quality sleep each night. That's what they suggest. And there have been some nights I've only been getting 6 hours of sleep for one reason or another. So get sleep. Eat a healthy diet. I'm thinking I'm having a hard time eating a healthy diet. So what do they say about eating a healthy diet? Focus on fruits, vegetables, and other nutrient-rich foods to support your immune cells. I do eat a lot more fruit here in the Philippines. I go to the street vendor right at the entrance of Mactan Newtown, and I go there almost every other day. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water. Exercise regularly. I do that, so no worries there. Consult a doctor if you frequently get sick or have concerns about your health. And I did bring you a video earlier that there is a doctor just on the outside of Mactan Newtown entrance. If you go out to the entrance, you turn right. You go down Quezon Highway, and then you turn left, and you walk a half a block, and there is a doctor's office on the right. And I will include a pop-up box of where the doctor's office is, as well as the office hours. They have some strange and unique office hours here in the Philippines for their doctors. I have not yet been to that doctor, so I cannot recommend it. But I know a lot of people that go to that doctor, and I'll include a pop-up box of the doctor. So some of the other things the Philippines is known for are infectious diseases, and the high concentration of people from different regions increases the risk of encountering infectious diseases that weaken your immune system. It's another thing. You have a melting pot of people from around the globe here. Some of the other things I suggest is try to cover up and try to prevent mosquito bites. They do have dengue disease. I think it's spelled D-E-N-G. That can be a severe disease, and it is carried by mosquitoes here in Southeast Asia. It can get to a point where if you have a bad experience with dengue, it could cause death. So some of the things I suggest is that you put mosquito repellent on and avoid getting mosquito bites. And there are a lot of mosquitoes here in the Philippines. And usually if I'm at the swimming pool down at the beach, when it gets dusk outside, usually around 5 or 5:30 p.m., the mosquitoes come out and they are really ferocious. So try to avoid getting bitten by mosquitoes. That will increase your probability of staying healthy. Make sure you get your flu shots every year. That would be another thing I would recommend that you do. Stay vaccinated and immunized, because you don't really want to visit the Barangay Health Center if you don't have to. That is not the doctor that I am going to give you a pop-up box on. The doctor office is, you head past Jollibee, you get to the intersection, you turn left, you walk about 200 meters, and then it's on the right side of the road. And it's right next to the dental office. I did bring you a video a while ago about a dentist's office. So the dentist and doctor's offices are located adjacent to each other. And like I said before, I'll bring you a pop-up box to let you know where that is. So that's your video for today. How to stay healthy in the Philippines and what to do if you get sick. Thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. Feel free to share this video with anybody you feel is interested in this content. Have a great day, everyone.